I'm Kim, the host of ClubCOCO Radio. I'm so grateful you're here and excited to have you join this journey with me. I started this podcast to create a space for honest conversation and stories that help us navigate life ups and downs. Whether it is personal growth, career transitions, or just figuring out this crazy thing called life, and at ClubCOCO Radio, we are here to keep it real. I'll be sitting down with inspiring women who share their journeys, lessons, and experiences with us. Together, we'll dive into the messy, beautiful process of becoming and learn how to face challenges with a little bit more confidence. If this podcast resonates with you, please hit follow and leave a review to help us grow this community. Whether this is your first episode or you've been with us from the start, thank you for being here. Let's dive in and get real. Today's episode is going to be a special one. She's also a dear friend of mine, and she is Annice Lyn. Annice Lyn is a Malaysian photojournalist and former national figure skater, known for using her photography to challenge societal norms and highlight underrepresented communities. She became the first Malaysian female photographer accredited for the Winter Olympics in 2018 and has since covered major events like the Malaysia general election. Her work has appeared in Time, National Geographic, and the New York Times, including Time's Climate is Everything cover in 2021. A Forbes 30 Under 30 honoree, Annice co-founded Women Photographers Malaysia to advocate for inclusivity in storytelling. She has worked with global brands like Victoria's Secret, Apple, and more, and just using her lens to connect with people and inspire change. So, hi Annice.
Hello.
How have you been?
I've been good. Can I just put a disclaimer out there?
Yeah, go ahead.
So being here is different. Being in front of the camera is different than being behind the camera.
So how do you feel? Do you feel more settled now and more comfortable now?
I will maybe in 15 minutes.
In 15 minutes time.
15
Yeah,
minutes
I'm
time.
sure you will.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a very chill session and just speak from your heart. It's just going to be a casual catch up you know how we always do it.
Yeah, I like it when you say speak from the heart.
Yes, and I think that's the easiest way because you're speaking your truth as well. So, you have a very unique journey. From being a national figure skater to become a renowned photojournalist. What sparked this transition?
What sparked the transition from being a figure skater?
Yes.
That one I think happens now. How young am I this year?
I love it, how young I am.
Yeah, I think 14 years ago. Yeah, 14 years.
Oh my God.
Almost 15 years ago.
That's so long ago.
Yeah, how it sparks from figure skating to photojournalist is, obviously it's really hard as a figure skater, as an athlete, as a national athlete back in the days. And then all you do is train every day and to get medals and all. So I think very much like you, we're very goal-oriented. So we seek validation from elsewhere. Yeah, so being a figure skater, I think towards when I was 17, then that gave it away, guys, if you do the math. But yeah, when I was 17, I got I think that was my final year for national figure skating. Then I think towards 18, when I go to college, I had an injury. So I collided with a skater and then I dislocated my right knee. So I think at that time, so my dad was saying that, being is really challenging, being a figure skater and a Malaysian in Southeast Asia, because figure skating is a winter sport and it's mainly based in the Western continent. So basically, we are challenging the norm by pursuing winter sport in the equatorial climate in Southeast Asia. So the ROI is not much. And then, I have to choose between my tuitions or pursuing as an athlete. So I end up going to a major in architecture instead. So as a photographer, so for me, when I was majoring in architecture, my coach actually asked me do you want to come back and impact the younger community? So there's always very much like you guys in Coco Dry, there's always a community center. So for those who went through figure skating, no matter what levels you are, you can always impact. You can always look back, be it you're a retired athlete or not, you can always look back and give back. So majority of my competitors, they went back as a coach.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah. But I don't want to compete with them. So because then you compete with the parents. So, and I realized I always wanted to see not something negative or a downfall to how can I turn it to a positive way. So for me, the negative things is I was injured. And I was forced to retire as well at a certain
it must
age.
be so hard for you
Yeah, it is
because that
really.
was something that you really love doing.
Yeah, I love it.
And it was an injury.
Yeah, it was
And a lot of times it's almost like you're giving up your dream and it's something that you can't really control because of an external injury. Like, how did you actually overcome that? You mentioned about, turning the negative into positive.
Yeah.
How was the process like?
So the redirection is that because your body rejects you, it's something that you can't control. So there's something in life that you focus that things that you can control and things that you can't control. Things that
I love that. Yeah. Things that you can control and things that you can't
I learned
control.
That, swallow the hard pill, and then first you have to acknowledge first. I think regulate your feelings, acknowledge, know that, okay, this is what I can't control, injury. What I need to focus now is I need to heal. Then after that, what I can control after that is that, I have a desire of really want to be part of the community. And I realized when I was young as well that when we speak about confidence as well, I wasn't the confidentest, if ever that's a word. So as a figure skater, we're known as nearly wearing leotards and skirts and stuff. So I realized that during competition, the photos turn out like something we trained so hard. And then when we turn out the photo, it didn't turn out the way we wanted. It didn't fully capture the essence and the hard work. And then I realized that, maybe the photographer wouldn't train to actually capture figure skating in the right way. Because I used to save up my pocket money until competition, and I'll pay for photos, and that's all I want. And I trained so hard for that program. We all trained so hard in terms of we trained for months and years just to perform for 2 minutes.
Yes, and to have that moment captured and something that you will always feel proud looking at is so important, the essence of it.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I felt embarrassed and I don't feel proud looking at the photo. I'm not saying the photo is good, but I just feel like it didn't really capture the essence. So that's where, the light bulb came. Something that I can control is during architecture, I did pick up photography and all. So my coach would be like, I reach out to my coach hey, during competition, I would like to come and test shot a few, photograph as a spectator, photograph my juniors.
Wow.
And then for the first year, I remember that was 2015. And then when I shot it, they actually liked it. Then the parents liked it. You understood the skaters.
Yes.
That's where I knew that, I understood the skaters. Why? Because
you were one of them.
I was one of them. And then they say, you capture it. They say, you used to capture the Xiao Mei Mei, the little girl, in a very flattering way.
Wow.
Let's say there are certain things in terms of ethics of photography, when they do the spins, the crotch is facing at the camera. So it's easy, just delete it. Yeah, and don't let them see it. Yeah.
Yes.
So this is something that I slowly picked up. And then I think as an athlete, you want to cement the identity to them that often athletes, they are made to perform. We're engineered to perform well. But then photographing something is different because it immortalized the moment that all of us, the split second, the judges, the spectators, the athlete didn't even know. So
you freeze it, and they can always look back.
Yeah, so that is the transition. Long story, but yeah.
Wow. So your photography career started off from volunteering. When did you decide to take it professionally and pursue this full time?
When did I decide to do that? It was 3 years after. So that time it was, the voluntary effort and initiative started in 2015. The idea of tackling figure skating photography. That is something that I don't ever think they will come to fruition. But so fast forward 3 years after 2018, I was supposed to take my master's that year, planned to go to Germany to pursue architecture. So actually towards the end, 2017, it was the SEA Game. So I was asked to be a team photographer for the Ice Skating Association Malaysia and speed skating. And I have no idea what I was doing. But I only know that, even though I have no idea what I was doing, but I know that I have passion for it. So I think maybe passion trumps no idea what I was doing.
Wow.
So by some miracle, 2018, and that towards 2017, after the SEA Games, Malaysia had, one of the skaters was all achieving the impossible, which is going to the Olympics. So I think I remember the figure skater mom was telling me that, Annice, you need to be crazy enough to think of the Olympics, to even plant the word Olympics in your mind. So for me as a figure skater, I always wanted to go to the Olympics. But after that, I figured like, what if you can be a photographer at the Olympics? Yeah.
No, I get like chills listening to this, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Because to me, that message itself is very, very empowering. And for someone to truly believe in you and even encouraging you to dream so big like the Olympics, it's just a seed.
Yeah, it's just a seed.
It's just a
that
seed
plant.
plants.
So it's up to you to. I think that's where the part comes, that the seed that plants into you, into your heart, be it into your heart, into your soul, into your mind. But then I think that's the watering coming. When you start, you need to, it's your job. And I also think that you need to start watering. Then you need to start making, like, metaphorically speaking, the things around you, which is your friends and all, are they good soils and all. So from there on, in 2018, February 2018, I got accredited to be there. So to be at Pyeongchang Winter Olympics. So it was Malaysia's first debut at the Winter Olympic. It's like really a country coming from a hot climate country in the equatorial. So I think that one, we break a lot of barriers in that. So after I came back from the Olympic, that's where I told myself that it's something that maybe I really want to see through it and see what else I can do with it. Yeah.
I just love the process so much, because what started off as, your injury.
Yeah.
And then it helps you to see things very differently. And then you started capturing the moments that you wish someone could have done it.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's something that I capture, something that I wanted to do something that for that little Annice.
Yes.
Yeah, it's always that going back to childhood. Like, I wanted to do something that for that little Annice that nobody have done it. So I wanted to be able to do it.
For other people.
Yeah.
And that led to you discovering your passion in photography. And the next thing, before you knew it, was, like an empowerment, from the figure skater's mom, and said that, aim high, go for Olympics. And you believed in it, and you believe in yourself, and you continue to, how do I even put it? Like, let your dream grow.
Yeah.
From there.
And I think it takes someone empowered to empower others. So I think, which is called Irene Chiu, that I always call her Auntie Irene. So she's the one that actually plant the seed in me.
I love
because
that.
she has a dream for her son, then to also open the doors for Malaysia to achieve the impossible. So I think that's where she planned as well, and that's where we go together. So, and I remember she said that, I don't know how you do it from your end. I mean, because she has a lot of focus, which is her son's athletic career.
Yes.
And she said, if you happen to be there or somehow find your way there, we will meet there.
Wow.
Yeah, and then we did. We meet at the training ring and we hug, and it's just a few of us there. Yeah.
It must be such a heartfelt moment.
Yeah, it is really surreal to be there, but to be able to witness history in the making, that Malaysian make a debut at the Winter Olympics.
And you're a part of it.
Yeah, and you're part of it, and you have the ability to immortalize the moment. I think that's very special as well.
And I think it's also a word from the audience, like, never ever underestimate the words of encouragement that you're giving others today.
Yeah, true.
Like, little did you know, you're actually planting a seed of a dream. All right, so when it comes to your portfolio, right, it spans everything from major sporting events to the stories of overlooked communities. Like, what inspires you to turn your lens to a particular story, and how do you balance between showcasing the celebrated, like the Olympics, or the unseen during the whole white flag campaign?
I think being a photojournalist, to be honest, we have no option in terms of I only want to photograph the good things. I only want to pick and choose, because I think in any job, like your job or my job, that for any creatives in particular out there, that there are things that we want to do and there are things that we need to do. We can't always say that, I don't want to do this. Like, there are things we need to do, the things we have to do, so that in order to able to do the things we want to do. Meaning, let's say when it comes to creative or because the things that we want to do actually is bringing more resources and sustainability to us, like in terms of monitoring wise. So able to fund and allocate fundings to support the things that we want to do. So the things that we need to do, the inspiration comes from my dad, because my dad is actually a social worker. Yeah, so he is a social worker, and he is also a director for an organization for old folks and children home called Rumah Charis. So I think I can see myself a lot in him. Like, as much as I don't want to admit it, they always say, you are your father's daughter. Because when he was young, I remember when he was 29, he founded Rumah Charis, Home for the Aged and Children. And then the thing that I learned from him and who he inspired me, that he's the same guy who's able to actually sit down, give a sponge bath, scrub, sit down in the toilet, scrub the old folks, or the old folks that are the senior citizen that's immobile. He can really give a sponge bath to them in the toilet, like really humble in the ground, do the grass work. But he's also the same guy who can also put on a tux and go to gala dinner and raise fund for old folk. Wow. So it's like one end to the spectrum. So it really, I think it inspired my photography, that yes, today I'm able to photograph someone of prolific, or like, for example, this year, I was really grateful to be hired by Microsoft through Getty Images, so representing Getty Images, to be Siata Nadella's personal photographer from Microsoft when he come here for a visit.
Wow.
And then, yeah, it's like today you may be able to photograph someone prolific, or be it at the Olympics or any world championship at Budapest. But then at the meantime, maybe 2 weeks later, you're posed to Taman Negara, Kuala Tahan, and stay there for 2 days with no shower, and then to spend time with the Orang Asli, and also identify what is needed in terms of like the Orang Asli hygiene, like the women's children malnutrition, women's living habitat, so or food insecurity. So you have to identify those as a photojournalist. So using the same energy, same skill set that I have, which is photography and passion, to tell, like to freeze the moment, to document. So it's like same but different, one end to the spectrum. Like I'm still using my profession, the same energy to do what I needed to photograph someone prolific. But I'm also using that same amount of energy to photograph an indigenous community, or someone that really needed the voice to elevate and to amplify. Yeah.
Yes, and you are actually giving them a voice.
Yeah.
Yes, just like I remember this photo that you shot during the White Flag campaign. Was it a White Flag campaign?
It was between the white flag and the black flag campaign.
Yes. And then there was actually a man that was, like holding our national flag. And he was like wrapping around his body. What was the story of that?
So he was covered by the tattered flag. So the assignment at the time was, you need to look for, white flag. So white flag was like for household that really needed help for food aid and stuff. And then there was a rising of black flag, because at that time, there is a rising concern of how our government works. Are they taking care of us and stuff? So it was white flag and black flag. But it was just very interesting that at that time during my assignment, I didn't find either of both. I found an old man actually cloth himself in a tattered flag.
Yes.
Yeah. So that tattered flag is more like the whole Jalo Gemilang is like tattered. But I feel like that old man is like us, like we love our country. No matter sometimes, people in power is letting us down, or leaders are either be letting us down, or either not in position of like taking care of us and all, but we are still like holding that flag because we love our country. Yeah.
And there was this rawness and realness in the photo, and his emotion
is
well.
us actually.
Yes.
Yeah, so all of us, I can feel like the entire Malaysian, like we are that old man, that we love our country no matter how it is, no matter how the circumstances. We will still do our best with the circumstances, but we still clothe ourselves and carry it with pride and with love as well. Yeah.
I'm just digesting that's the photo that I will always remember, because it was such an impactful photo. And I really think that that's when, because you're the first person that told me the difference between photographer and photojournalist. And from that photo, I understood what photojournalist is.
Yeah. And then I was just like, for me, like a lot of people was like asking that, oh, you take so many nice photos, like what is your favorite photo and stuff. So for me, it's like, oh, I don't aim to take nice photo. I mean, sure, maybe when I first started out, I think as career progression goes, and as long as you start maturing in your work, because there are different phase and season in life. So for me, like I don't aim to take great photos. If it's great to you, then okay, I think I did my job. Yeah, for me, it's more like I want to make important photos. Not just take, I want to make important photos that may like poke you a bit, may like itch you a bit. So a lot of people
Make
like,
you feel emotional.
yeah, as long as you felt emotional. Like there are friends or peers that ask me like, if your social media is flooded by people hating on the photo you took or what, I was like, oh no, as long as if there's two parties arguing with each other at a photo, about the photo and all, like try to like depict like, oh, this is my view, that's that view, and I think I did my job.
It sparks conversation.
Yeah, it sparks
That's all that
conversation.
matters.
And it's not my job to tell people that it's right or wrong or not. It's like that photo is up to your own interpretation. Yeah.
And you can decide based on your own lens and your worldview.
Yeah. It's how you receive it, how you see it and how you receive it. So I'm completely chill on my end.
So the next thing that I want to talk about is breaking into a male-dominated industry, which is literally sports photography. It's definitely no small feat. And I remember during one of our conversations, you told me that someone said that you will never make it to the Olympics. How do you actually overcome those doubts, and what kept you motivated to, I don't know, prove them wrong?
I think first come to worst. I mean, obviously, when that happened, you're like, oh, I want to prove them wrong. Or anything happened to us, that's the first reaction.
100%. I'm guilty of that. I want to prove them wrong, show them how it's done.
Yeah, it is. But then after, in the midst of it, when you start like thinking like, actually, I don't have to prove them wrong. I need to do my best. So for me, it's like,
Wow.
when that happened, obviously for me, like immediate reactions, like I want to prove them wrong. It's like whoever you say, I want to prove them wrong. I want to go there, and then I want to stand next to you like, hi.
Yeah, I love how honest you are.
Yeah, I'm just like, you don't have to be salty or what, just like, hi. Yeah. But then no, after that, I feel like, okay, there's only two things you can do when they say that. Obviously you're sad, and I cannot confess that how many times in this industry I've been belittled, and I'm still being belittled every day.
Even until now?
Even until now, like I faced bully as well, like by 4-5 men before, and they're like our dad's age. So I was like, guys, chill. Like I'm just trying to do my job. Like you were saying.
How do they even belittle you or bully?
I mean, they have their ways. They have their
The words that they use.
I think not sure. I think words. That's why we are going back to say that words can either tear you down or lift you up.
They're so powerful.
Yeah. So that it is really powerful. So that's the second layer that comes again to share with you that, the second layer is you regulate it, and then it's up to you that. I think finding the difference is what you can control and what you can't control. So I think what I can't control is that person saying that, yeah, you will never make it. I mean, it's his words that I can't control. But what I can control is, do I either let his word fester in my mind and I believe that, oh, I can't make it? Or do I actually use it as a motivation? So I use it as a motivation. And then this one is something that the conversation actually was in message. So what I did was I printed it out. I put it in my wallet. And then when I reached Winter Olympic, there I actually took it out, tear it and throw it there. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's something that you don't have to prove to him or prove to anyone that, oh, I made it. But it's something that at the end of the day, you need to have peace with yourself as well.
I love that. It's not about proving other people wrong, but at the end of the day, it's all about having peace within yourself and be proud of yourself that, hey, I actually made it at my own terms, in my own times, and it's my own achievement, and it has nothing to do with anyone.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with anyone, but then also be grateful for the little fairies, the little elves, or I think the community and people like guardian angel that help you to get there as well.
Like Auntie Irene for believing in you.
Yeah, and along the way there's other people who actually believe in you that also make me think of like the biggest currency you have. The most valuable and biggest currency you have is how you treat people and the impact you have on people. So that's where if someone can able to provide me that, and I promise myself that I promised myself that. I think at that time, I was like, oh, when I'm in the position I'm able to, I would like to do the same.
Yes.
Yeah, so that it kind of pays it forward as well. And to break the cycle as well. You know, they say there's generational trauma in families, but there's also, I also believe that there's generational trauma in industry, in working industry. And then, yeah, I would like to do that. And also lately, I think a couple of days ago, I was facing that also in an email that it was for a job next year, for a particular job next year, that it was choosing between me and a veteran. So I think my photo editor's like, I'm just gonna let you two work it out, and then let you two like kind of work it out, like who gets the job and all. So that was a couple of days ago. And in return, it took me 15 minutes, not long, to think. Then I just wrote back to the editor like, you know what, if that's the case, I would opt out. I would opt out, not because I'm giving, they always say that. And one thing I also don't really like to hear that when they say that, you're young, it'll come back to you one day. You'll get the chance one day.
It's not about the age. It's not about being young, is it?
Yeah. So then he's a veteran. So just let him have it. And that's where I realized, I think it's more than that. Sometimes taking a step back or opt out from something is not a weakness. Then I was like, if you want it, okay lah, so be it. I'll give it to you. So it means I lose a job.
But how do you even balance that between something that you really wanted and also taking a step back?
I mean, I do want it, I do want it, but I think it's where in my mind as well, I want to break that generational trauma. I don't want to hold it and squeeze it so tightly that end up like everything just came out. Sometimes you squeeze it so tightly that end up you take nothing, because you squeeze it so tightly, everything just came out from, it just come out, it leaks out. So that's where I think that learning to let go is one thing. So the funny thing is that every Olympic, so this year is my 4th Olympic at the Paris 2024. So I learned that every Olympic to me, it's I have a keyword for every single Olympic. So there's 4 Olympics, so I have 4 keywords. Yeah.
What are your keywords?
So the first one, which is 2018 in Pyeongchang, that was my first one.
Yeah.
So it was a leap of faith, because I have no idea what I was doing. Like I say, I have
Very
no
powerful.
idea. I have no idea what I was doing. But I went through this journey. I go through this journey with passion. Yeah. So the second one was the one that I feel like the whole country rise with me, which is the Tokyo 2020 in July 2021. Because due to the pandemic, the Olympic was pushed back a year later. So that one was resilience.
Faith. Yeah. Resilience.
The first one was leap of faith. Then the second one was resilience. Resilience and, the second one was discipline.
Discipline?
Yeah, the second one was discipline. Because I felt like once you have a gift, you have the opportunity. In order to sustain it, you need discipline. You need discipline to go on. Because everybody gets that one opportunity, or maybe if you're lucky, 1 or 2 opportunity that people believe in you. But it doesn't just stop there. It's not a one-time, it's not a one-off thing. So after that, moving forward is discipline. How you sustain it. You need knowledge, you need wisdom to sustain it. So that was discipline.
A lot of hard work.
And a lot of hard work. It's not like you got it one time, no.
And that's it,
and
you're done.
No, it's not like you got in one Olympic and then the 3rd, 4th, 5th Olympic is like pay off for
Just like the flower, right? When you stop watering, the flower will die.
Yeah, the flower will die. Everything like the drive will die and stuff.
Yes.
So the second one was discipline. So the third one was Beijing 2020. So that one was resilience. Because that one was hard because it was aside from it was really cold, and that's where I also realized that during Tokyo and Beijing, because it was 6 months apart.
Yes.
So that was crazy. Usually it's 2 years apart for summer and winter Olympics. So you have time to prep. But this one is 6 months.
Wow.
6 months apart. It's back to back. So I think that was resilience because I really want to give up. That's where I knew that photography or photojournalism is a very physically and mental taxing job. Then fast forward to Paris, it's let go. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Let go in a sense of like Paris, I took on a different role. So Paris, I wasn't assigned to shoot on ground. So that one took a little bit toll on me because I want to shoot on ground. I want to be able to be up close with the athlete. But I think, like you say, as career progression go, you're assigned to different tasks. And what I want to do is to be at the field of play with the athlete, kind of get the action, get the action, get the motion. But then I was assigned to what I need to do. That's where I think there was responsibility coming in. What I need to do is actually, this year at the Paris Olympic is, I was assigned to be a studio photographer and a project coordinator to coordinate athletes of working with the ANOC, which is Association National Olympic Committee, that look after smaller country. You know, you have Team USA, Team Canada,
Yes.
Team France, and they have their own whole kampong, ship their whole kampong of social media specialists or their branding, their marketing and branding there. But what about other countries? Other countries like Guam, British Virgin Island, like some country, like I dare say that I don't even know. I have to Google and check. And then I think I remember this country, British Virgin Island. I didn't even know it's a country, I'm sorry. But it's good to it's good to amp up your geographical skill that there's only 2 athletes. And then that 2 athletes are cousins. So imagine how small it is. And then sometimes countries like that who only send 2 athletes to the games, they don't send any local
The whole
photographer.
crew, like other bigger countries.
So that's where
out
we
there.
come in. We support countries that also sign up for like the Digital Accelerate program so that we can support them with contents during the game. And that really comes down to like focusing on, yes, you have Simone Biles and all, LeBron James at the Olympics, but you also have
big
to,
athletes.
the big athletes. I mean, which is great. Like you have goosebumps even seeing them on TV and all. But you also need to, I think, big or small, you also need to take a look at the smaller country athletes who are doing great work as well.
And that reflects in your journey as a photojournalist as well, like what we talk about, you know, the work of celebrated and the work of unseen, and like finding the balance and giving the same energy in everything that you do regardless. And I want to talk a little bit more about women photographers Malaysia. So I think, you know, you spoke about male-dominated industry and how you were being let down, right? Or being belittled.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, have you ever met a person that belittled you and told you that you can't make it in Olympics?
I saw him. I saw him from afar.
How was it like?
I think it's very interesting that every time, you know, when you imagine something, at the end of the day, it's not what you imagine. So I think going there, of course, you have this like sense of like, I will be next to him and say hi and all.
Yeah.
But actually, when you're there, I saw him, and that's where I went like, you know what, Annice, it's okay, just pat on the back. I didn't talk to him. I just continue my journey because I think that's where you kind of reclaim your narrative and power and say that not a second more.
Not a second more.
And focus that energy to something more important.
Yes.
Yeah, and that is okay.
I love that.
It's quite different. I was
focus
like,
on something.
Yeah, focus on something. So when I was there, I was like, wow, Annice, you really grew up. Yeah, you try to be the bigger person because that's not something you want to happen on other people as well.
Yes.
So that's where I really just went to the other way and like, you know what, it's okay. He can do his thing. I can
you
do
will do your thing.
Yeah, I'll do my thing. Yeah.
And put your energy at a place where it matters most, which is yourself.
Yeah.
Not other people, and not a second more.
Yeah, not a second
Not
more.
a second more. I love that. I keep saying I love that. It's like every single thing that you say is also impacting me in so many ways. And I think your journey has actually, you know, brought you a lot of wisdom and experiences that you can share to the younger generation. So it's almost like it is meant to happen, and wow, the journey was really hard. And then now you can sit here and share those experiences with so many people who may be going through this alone.
That's why I say that, that's the one quote I really like. I read it somewhere. They say that your hardship, like even though it makes no sense at the time, but it'll be someone's survival guide in the future.
Yeah.
So I've been like, oh yeah, that is a very good thing. So it's kind of...
You just drop another wisdom. Your hardship may be someone's survival guide.
I mean, that's what I think. I'm very sure that's what a lot of people see it online. But I mean, like I say, I think it's very important to be grounded as well. Like even if you're perceived by the media or perceived by everyone that you made it, but at the end of the day, you still have to look back and say that it comes with a price. And then it comes with a price. It built you mentally strong as well. It builds you mentally strong. So how Women's Photographer Malaysia came about is in 2020. So 2019 I was still facing bully. So 2019 I was facing bully until this year. But
even after you have accomplished so much and you have broken so many After you have accomplished so much and broken so many barriers, and yet you're still being bullied.
I think because sometimes, honestly, when I first started out, part of me kind of wish that sometimes I'm still at the first started out phase, is where you are able to explore, fail, express, rewrite things that nobody will pay attention. Because obviously now I'm also very grateful for being on the other end of the spectrum, which is when your work is more recognizable. But then when your work is more recognizable, it's not all sunshine, rainbow, chocolate, a box full of chocolate. It's like, because when you are recognized more, and it comes with criticism, and then that's where your mental strength, mental ability, and you have to do the inner work, is to be very. So you really have to be a paise lah, I would say. But you really have to develop a thick face, because that is the most crucial point that it will bring you down. And then it comes with a package. It's like the part and parcel of it I would say, to be recognized by your work. Yeah, so it's really up to you, like you say, what you can control, what you can't control. Like, I can't control these people that keep kacauing my thoughts, but I can control whether I want to let them in or not. It's still a work in process, I would say, but that's where you need your community. You need to build a community. If you don't have a community, build your own, like what you did with Coco Dry. And then
in your case, it would be
Women's Photographer in Malaysia, because it's really interesting that at the time we have Clubhouse, right? During COVID. I never told my co-founder about this. So my co-founder is Aisha Naza. She's a wonderful fellow photographer as well. So we co-founded this, and at first she thought like, oh yeah, it's a community that we can gather to work creatively and then to seek help among each other. But after a few months, I actually told her that at Clubhouse that Women's Photographer Malaysia is actually part of my healing project. Like, I never said that. That was like a little mini hidden agenda there. So she was quite shocked, but I did tell her like, yeah, it is a healing project, because like you say, I wanted to do something that whatever I went through for the past 4 years, I really hope that no other female photographers out there will go through. I mean, even though they have to go through, it's part of growing up as well, but
they know they have a support system.
Yeah, at least they know
which
they have
is Women Photographer Malaysia.
Yeah, at least we can look on each other, look upon each other, lean on each other, and also support each other on this crazy journey. Yeah.
Is there any favorite campaign that you've worked on with Women Photographer Malaysia?
I think that one is very apparent. I think the favorite campaign definitely is the Victoria's Secret T-shirt bra campaign. So because it is a lingerie brand,
yes,
and then that time we were like, oh, why not let's gather and have a majority female-led team, because that's where it's not just photography we're looking at, and we are actually looking at production as well, production and creative. We realized like, oh, in production there's not a lot of female lighting specialists or ACs, assistant cameraman, or gaffers and all. So that's where I remember we got our DOP Yuki, and then we also asked her like, oh, who are you comfortable with? So in a sense of like, even that time at working at the Victoria's Secret campaign, initially we wanted like all female production. Because I can't imagine when we start shooting the talents, Nia, Jane, and Janie, I was like 13 hours in front of 3 women wearing lingerie, and I was like, wow, I can imagine like them themselves, the models, have to be in front. So if like in the past, if it's like all male, majority male, like they have to be panties and bra in front of them. But then that's very interesting, also tapping into that industry, which is production, where my DOP, my director of photography, she's like, oh, these are the guys that I actually appreciate and work. So that's where we were like looking to it. Yeah, we really don't want I would say to rediscriminate, like, you know, to have a gender rediscrimination, like, oh, it's only all female. So we did work with some of the best guys out there that really supported us and really guided us as well.
And also respectful at the same time.
Yeah, and also respectful at the same time. So that's where something that I tap into is like, right, for me, it's like, okay, I have been bullied by maybe the veterans in the industry. Then maybe sometimes I also need to sit down and check myself, like, not all men in the industry is bad, is out to get you. Sometimes I met like my lecturer as well. He's the one who actually supported me and asked me to pursue photography. So that actually changes you over time. Yeah. So sometimes I also feel like, I maybe unconsciously have a unconscious biasness. But then after that, I sit back like, you need to forgive as well. Forgive what has happened to you because you really didn't know better when you first started out.
Yes.
Forgive like the people that actually belittled you and all. But also take responsibility that now that you know better and then how you retackle.
But do you also think that the reason why they belittled was because they felt like you were a threat to them? Do you think so?
I would say that one is really up to them. I think to challenge the norm and think things differently. I would like to ask one of them out for coffee one day. I think that's a really big thing to do.
To just truly understand.
Yeah, to just
what's
truly
the reason
understand.
behind it.
Yeah, to like, okay, I know we got differences.
Yeah.
And actually, I don't know what I did that. Like, why you don't like me? Come, I belanja you coffee. Let's talk it out.
Yeah, why belittle when you can empower?
Yeah, why belittle when you can empower?
Yeah.
So maybe sometimes, I don't want to tap in too much, like spend so much time in terms of like, why do they think what they think? But sometimes I do think that maybe it makes them feel good in some way. But that one is really up to them. So I think one of the things in future, now is like, yeah, you have to forgive at one point. Forgive yourself, forgive them.
Yes.
And hopefully one day, if I ever see one of them on site again, if they ever do something again, I'll be like, okay, why? Like, maybe just handle it nicely.
Let's talk.
Yeah, handle it with grace. Like, maybe if they ever do it. So usually there are keyboards warrior, but they are on ground hasting as well in the industry. So if I ever encounter, like last time when I encounter, I'll just go to the toilet and cry. And then in the media room, I just don't want to sit with them. And I'll just try my best to avoid. Yeah.
And
I think
now,
I think now the Annice now, I would say that if that ever happened, I think this is one thing that I would say this in record also, so that I think it also pushed me a little bit and give myself accountability because it was recorded, right? Yeah, if I ever see them, one of them, and if we don't talk, it's fine. But if they ever belittle or something physically on ground and are doing something, I think I would just maybe take them aside. You don't have to cause a scene, just take them aside, like.
the younger Annice will be so proud
Because I always
of this version right now.
Yeah, I wanted to break that generational trauma and stigma and just the kind of belittle practices as well. Yeah, I just want to do things differently.
And when you say do things differently, you've always tried, to handle things with grace. So I think your personal values clearly play a huge role in your work. And you also said you're deeply influenced by your dad.
Yeah, both of
And
my
I
parents.
remember, during our catch-up, you mentioned something about ABC. And it's been so many years, and that ABC value still stuck with me. And it's something that, Annice equals to ABC. Like, can you share more of that,
The ABC,
to our listeners?
Thanks for bringing it up. I actually forgot about my ABCs.
It's okay, I'm always here to remind you.
Yeah, thank you. So I remember ABC. That when Kim and I talk about ABC, it's where we always end up with like, okay, with intentions or younger generation. So this is a really great advice I learned from Papa Teo, from my dad, is that
Thank you, Papa Teo. Shout out to him.
yeah, to get your ABCs right in all things you do, no matter the big or small. So it's very simple to get. It's very simple. Just get your ABC right. Like, what is your ABC? You want to say it with me? Like attitude, behavior, and character. Yeah. So just get that ABC right. If you don't get your ABC right, I think like doesn't matter how well you are in what you do. If your ABC is not there, then might as well don't be. I mean, it's as harsh as it sounds. Yeah. So I think, you can be the greatest photographer, you can be the greatest entrepreneur, the greatest storyteller, or greatest social media content creator. But if your ABC is not there, I think eventually client, friends, people around you will slowly fade away. Yeah. And it will show in the work. Yeah. So if you have your core really built it very strong, very grounded, which is your ABC, attitude, behavior, and character, I think the rest will really grow and the rest will really fall into place.
And I think that really reflects with every single thing that you've experienced and accomplished in the past, 14 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's something that will always ground you, something that you will always reflect on. Because sometimes when you have accomplished so much, and it's easy to forget our roots.
Yeah, it is. It is easy. Like I mean, dare I say, sometimes I do forget. Yeah, I really do forget. But that's, I mean, because you're not perfect. And one thing I know is like I'm not perfect. Like sometimes you really be at your high horse when you're at the cloud. But you need friends like you, or you need really core people in your life that you need to identify, that to really pull you back from the sky and ask you to swallow the humble pie, and things that you will have to go through, things that people tell you, things that you don't want to hear, but eventually it's really up to you yourself to really sit down and reflect. Yeah.
So just now we spoke about personal values. We spoke about the importance of grounding ourselves. But what does success mean to you, and how has your perspective on it evolved over the years?
Success used to, I mean, it used to mean to me that you get more gigs, you get more cool projects, you go to Olympics. So that
Awards?
was or awards, or featured in the media, you know, or even as simple as a like on an Instagram, or like maybe you pass through 500 likes on Instagram. Oh, that post, so a success. But no, I think at the end of the day, to me now, success is really, I think at the end of the day, you're able to go home. You're able to go home and sleep. That's for me is success.
You're able to go home and sleep.
I think simple as that. You're able to go home and sleep and wake up feeling inspired. I think that one is success to me. I think it really boils down to the simplest thing, because I think halfway through my career, I think in the midst of my career, I was so caught up in terms of like, oh, it has to be featured in 3 months, like every 3 months, every quarter.
Very goal-oriented.
Yeah, very goal-oriented. It has to be featured. Like I have to be featured in certain publication and all, be it work, be it personal profile and all. But at the end of the day, right, if you died, really, let's talk about that. At the end of the day, really, if you die, right, let's say for example, I'm not sure is it the taboo thing to talk about, but I think it's really important to really plant a seed to someone who's hearing on the other end. Is that, let's say for example, one day if I die, and you have to go up to the crowd, to the funeral, and talk about me. I don't think, to be honest, I don't think you will go out and tell everyone like, oh, Annice used to cover 4 Olympics. Annice used to, I used to go to this event with her, this party with her. No, you won't do that. You will actually be like, that time when I break up, she just immediately asked me to go there to have ice cream. Or like the time I have like motherly breakdown, then we end up just sit at maybe COCO Drive one corner and cry and eat ice cream, or have a coffee or have matcha. I think that's the little things that the people around you would remember, instead of how many awards you got. I mean, that one really doesn't define you. So I think in terms of success is really, at the end of the day, if you can rest, and then the next day you wake up, you're restful enough to continue the dream, I think that one is success to me.
That is very inspiring, because in a world with social media, especially, everyone is just so caught up with what's next, the next goal, the next big thing, the next accomplishment. But when you break it down into, you know, when someone attends my funeral, what would they say about me? And it really goes back to the simplest thing in life. It's never about what you've accomplished, but how you've made other people feel.
Yeah, like let's say in social media, like let's say our life in terms of achievement, it really boils down to exam tests at school, 100 marks. So I think you get 30 marks, you want to go to 40 marks. When you go at 40 marks, you want to go 60 marks, 60 to 70. I think that's when a point you hit into a near perfection, or you're at your peak, which is like 95 marks. And 100 is the limit already. 100 is perfection. And then it's exhausting. To be honest, it's really exhausting to keep 95, 98, 95. Then if you're in 98, oh, it's almost there. Then you keep pacing like, oh, if you're 95, you're not happy. And you'll never be happy. So I think giving yourself grace, that I think success also is able to, for me, success also another way is to able to fully accept that today, maybe this project or this coverage, the success rate is 95. Okay. Then the next one, 85. It's okay. You're not a failure of your 10 marks now. Or next time, I'm not really there yet. So I got 75 in terms of effort, or in terms of personal ratings. And I think it's completely fine. As long as you're able to do your best.
Biggest critic.
You're always our biggest critic, really. And you need to I think done is better than perfect. Yeah. One thing I was like, done is better than perfect. Yeah. And it takes time. Like, not everybody can accept. Sometimes I couldn't accept. Even if I say it now, who knows the next assignment come, I'll be a little bit like stubborn to go back to my ways. But I also understand and been giving myself more grace that, yeah, done is better than perfect.
And also learning how to let go.
Yeah, learning how to let go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your Olympic lesson.
Yeah, so
in year 2024.
in my 28 this year Olympic mantra is learn to let go. And I think when you let go, you make room for more magic, and then you really need to let that magic to take you to somewhere.
And you feel happier and lighter
happier.
too. Like, just
Yeah.
goes back with what you say. If you just keep on holding on to something so tightly,
Yeah.
you know, it's not that the thing is going to crumble. You are going to crumble
Yeah, you're gonna
yourself
crumble as
too.
well.
And it's so important for us to have grace, not just for other people, but for ourselves.
Because sometimes it will
to-
eat you up from within.
Yes, I
So you
felt
need-
that too.
Yeah, so you need to release it, and then to usher in and welcome in greater things that you haven't even seen. Yeah.
Okay. So the last question that I have for you is, I think in your journey of becoming this version of Annice Lyn, you know, you have been through so much.
Yep.
And the change in your career, especially, you know, from figure skater and then to architecture and then to a photojournalist,
Yep.
right? So what's the one piece of advice that you would give our listeners who are going through, you know, career changes and not knowing what to do, and it's something that they cannot control? Like, for example, the injury that you faced when you were a figure skater.
Also, that whatever you're going through right now, whatever you're going through, be prepared as much as you can. Be prepared as much as you can. Like in the weights, while you feel like you're stuck, while you feel like in a weight, take a step back and see that hone your skill. I would say hone your skill. If you want to read, just do more readings. You know, be prepared so that when the opportunity comes, you will know that you're ready. But in the case you are never ready, so might as well just know that what you can, like I say, I really like this, like what you can control, what you can control, what you can't control. And it's gonna be hard. One thing is like in terms of the goals that you set and all, it's gonna be hard. But it's not impossible. I know that like there are things that I plan, the dreams, like maybe top 3 things I want to do. So it's gonna be hard. But also
But it's
another
not
voice.
impossible.
Yeah, but also another word come like, but it's not impossible. So yeah, like you say, continue to be curious. And I think the best advice now, it comes to my head now. At the end of the day, whatever really heartfelt advice I give, it really boils down to this. The Lulu is the Solulu.
The Lulu is the Lulu. I'm sure everyone can relate to that.
I really think so. Like, give myself a lot of pep talk, like really serious pep talk. I will always end up with a funny one, because it also shows that don't take life too seriously.
And remember to have fun.
Yeah, I remember to have fun. So I will always like give myself really all this like, you know, be prepared. You know, if you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. You know, all this like bombastic, really heartfelt one. Then at the end, like, you know what, screw all this advice. Yeah, the Lulu is the Solulu.
No, I cannot agree more. And people are always like, how do you know that COCO Drive was going to work? And I'm always like,
I'm the
I don't
delulu
know.
one.
I think I was delusional and I was naive enough
Yeah.
to believe it. And sometimes
Yeah.
the Lulu is the only Solulu.
Yeah, that's why like really, it really comes down to the woman that empower me, Auntie Irene.
Auntie
I say like,
Irene.
you need to be crazy enough to see your dream come to fruition. So I think goes back to you when I really see your journey from COVID to that, like from social media. Like that time I don't even know you personally. I was like, oh, this girl really. I mean, I don't think you're the Lulu at all, but it's just that the dreams are like, how is this possible? Like,
No, it is the same for me as well. And then we met each other at our Publica launch, and I'm just so happy to be connected with you and how we have stayed friends ever since, and always supporting each other.
yeah, when I say how is it possible, it's not that I have doubts, but it's just like, oh, this might work. I mean, you're tapping into a new territory.
Yes.
It's a new market that it takes a lot of what is it called? It takes a lot of convincing to the consumer, to the people, to even an uncharted community. Yeah, so I do think that the Lulu is the Solulu.
Solulu. And thank you
Yeah.
for always supporting me as well.
Yeah, because it does make me feel confident. Like one thing as a photojournalist, I do sometimes in terms of as confident as I am behind the camera, in terms of like well-being, in terms of physical appearance. Yeah, you might be shocked that I'm not the most confident. That's why for me, it's because I went through like, in terms of very environmental challenge, when I'm on assignment, I don't even do my hair, I don't even do my makeup. But there are times that even for me on a male dominant industry, I want to feel good. I want to look flattering, at least decent. Yeah. So I really appreciate what you did for any women in walks of life, really. Yeah.
Thank you. It means so much to me. Because when you're in this every single day, sometimes you forget the reason why you started because it's very operational heavy. And every single time when someone just come up to me and tell me things like, oh my gosh, you make me feel confident. I love the hair. I love your team and how you make me feel. And I think that has always been, something that continues to get me going as well.
Yeah, when you say operational heavy, like on my end as well, it was really environmental hazard, like under the sun and all.
Yes.
That's why I can understand why there's a lack of female representation in the photographic industry and especially in photojournalism. But then at the end of the day, it's like, at the end of the day, I want to feel good about myself and to take care of myself. I think at the end of the day, to give yourself grace and take care of yourself. So I think the next phase, I want to be able to do that because I felt like I kind of neglected that Annice, that little Annice.
That little Annice.
Yeah, throughout this whole journey, throughout the past 6 years in this journey. Yeah.
I'm sure you did as well because you make her so proud.
Yeah.
You stood up for yourself like during these 6 years, and I'm sure that, when you're able to go back, to see that little Annice, and I'm sure that she'll just be looking at you with so much admiration. Alright, so that's a wrap for today's episode of ClubCOCO Radio. I hope you enjoyed this conversation as much as I did and found something meaningful to take away. And a big thank you to Annice for sharing your time and experiences with us today. And if you want to learn more about Annice, you can find them at
Annice Lyn or AnniceLyn.com. Or just, I think be it that way, just reach out.
And thank you so much for tuning in. If you love this episode, don't forget to follow, leave a review, and share with someone who might need a little extra inspiration or pick me up today. It really helps us to grow this community and keep this conversation going. Until next time, I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.